Good afternoon to all. I am Bhavna, Faculty School of Finance and Commerce, is going to give a presentation on the topic capital asset pricing model. So as we know that capital asset pricing model is the idealized idea of how the financial markets prices securities are need to be determined, and we also determine what is the expected return on the capital investment. So these methods provide the methodology for quantifying the risk and the translating the risk into the estimates of the expected returns are taken into account in this model. The capital asset pricing model was developed in the mid 1960s. There were the three researchers, William Sharpens, John Lander, and James Murray, independently, and consequently this model is often referred to as Sharpens Linter Moraine capital asset pricing model. So it is just an extension of the portfolio theory of the Markowitz. It is a description how the rational investor should build an efficient portfolios. It also tells that how the asset need to be priced in the capital market. Indeed, everyone behave in the same way as the portfolio theory suggests. So, capital asset pricing model is the relationship how the assets are to be priced in the capital markets. So there are some underlying assumptions. The first is that the investor make the decision which is based on the risk return assessment, and this judgment is based on the form of your expected values and your standard deviation. The next is the purchase or the sales of the securities is taken infinitely over the divisible units. You can buy or sell the shares anytime without any limit. The next is the purchase and sale by the single investor cannot affect the prices because there is a perfect competition where the investor in total will determine the prices by its section. And along with that, there are some more assumptions. For the investors, the market are idle, means there is no transaction cost, no taxes, no inflations, or no selling transactions. The next is the investors are always adverse to the risk, and the market is highly efficient, and all the investors they have a equal access to the available information. The investor can borrow and they can lend unlimited amount under the risk-free return. Beta coefficient is the only measure through which we can measure the risk, and all the assets they are being absolutely liquid and they are being infinitely divided divided, sorry. The amount of the available assets is fixed during a given time span, and the market is in the equilibrium stage. As there is no transaction cost, so that is why the returns are more sensitive to whatever the investor owned a security before the decision period. And the purchase and sale of the securities is done in the absence of the personal income tax. That is, we are very different to the form in which the returns is to be received. The next is the investor can borrow or lend any amount of the security which is desired at identical riskless returns, and the investor can share the identical expectations which is with regard to the decision period. So the next is capital market line. As we know that all the investors are assumed to be the identical, homogeneous, have that expectations. Here all of them they have faced the same efficient frontier which is depicted in the diagram. So every investor will seek to combine the same risky portfolio B with the different levels of lending and borrowing which is according to the desired level of the risk. Because all the investors hold the same risky portfolio, then it should include all the risky securities in the market. So this portfolio of all the risky securities is referred to as the market portfolio M. Each security will be held in that proportion in which the market value of the securities, it bears the total market value of all the risky securities in the market. So all the investors will hold the combination of the two securities. The one is the market portfolio and the second one is the risk-free securities. The relationship between these two lines need to be identified for determining the value of the efficient frontier. So all these combinations which lies along the straight line representing the efficient frontier. So the line which is formed by the action of all the investors by combining the mix of the portfolio with the risk-free asset, it is called as the capital market. And all the efficient frontier of the portfolio of the investor will lies along the capital market line. So that is why we use this formula E equals to RF plus summation P bracket RM minus RF upon summation M, where E stands for the expected return of the portfolio, ER. EF stands for the risk-free rate of return, and sigma P stands for standard deviation of the portfolio. Sigma M stands for the standard deviation of the market, and RM stands for the market rate of the return. Yes. So as we can see that the market risk and summation RF has been represented here, that is risk-free rate of return. So here we are having this straight line and this line shows the three combinations. When we are having the all the wealth in the risk-free assets, when we are having the some wealth in the risk-free assets, then all the wealth is in the risky assets, then we are having the revised portfolio of the risky assets. So like this we will be making the three different combinations. So hence we can see that it provides the risk return relationship and it is a measure of the risk for the efficient portfolio. So the appropriate measure of the risk for the efficient portfolio is the standard deviation of the return of the portfolio. And that's why there is a linear relationship between the risk as it is measured by the standard deviations or the expected return of all these expected efficient portfolios. While evaluating the performance of the portfolio, the return earned on that portfolio is evaluated in the context of the risk, what is associated with it. So one approach is that the grouped portfolio into the equivalent risk class and then to compare the returns of the portfolio within each risk category. So an alternative approach we use that need to be more specifically adjusted to the return of the riskless of the portfolio by developing the risk adjusted return measure. And this is used for evaluating the portfolio across the risk elements. So we are having the security market line. In this, the security market line as the capital market line does not describe the risk return relationship of the inefficient portfolios. So the inefficient portfolios are being expressed with the help of the security market line. It follows the expected return of the security of the portfolio. It should be related to the risk associated with that security. So beta is the measure of the security sensitiveness to whatever changes are there to the market return. So beta value, if it is greater than 1, it represents that the market is greater sensitive to the risk to the market changes. If it is less than 1, then it indicates that it is low sensitive, and if it is equals to 1, then it indicates that the security moves in the same returns and in the same data. So here the market will be taken as the 1. So the relationship between the expected return and the security, it needed to be measured, determined graphically. So let us consider a graph XY where we have allocated the expected return which is on y-axis and beta coefficient is allocated on x-axis. So a risk-free asset, it is have an expected return equivalence to and beta coefficient of 0. So M which is a market portfolio. It has a beta coefficient of 1, and which also indicates that the expected return equivalent to it. So a straight line is drawn, which is joining the 2 points, and which is called as the security market line. So let us first understand that the risk, what we have taken as a systematic risk and unsystematic risk, is affected by the market factors. Now, under CAP model, we know that we determine the risk return relationship, which is established by the security market return. So, whatever the value of your expected return on the any security, it needed to be determined from the CAP formula. So we know that the beta of every security of the portfolio. So the capital asset pricing model, it is used to evaluate the pricing of the securities. So it provides a framework for assessing whether the security is underpriced, overpriced, and correctly priced. So each security is expected to provide the return which is equivalent to the level of risk. Like for example, here we have taken on OX-axis, that is the beta coefficient, which is described by the systematic risk. And then we are having the expected market return. If we see, this is the center point, the market return. If the securities are above this point, it shows that the stock is undervalued. But if it is lower than this point, it shows that the value of the stock is overvalued. So, in the security market line, we use to evaluate whether the security is undervalued or overvalued. In the capital market line, the risk is defined by the standard deviation. Whereas in the security market line, it has been described by the beta coefficient. So that is why in security market line, we have used the beta over here. The security market line, it also provides the relationship between the expected return and the beta of the security. So the part of the return on any security or the portfolio, it is just a reward for bearing the risk. And the risk is what it is reward for the waiting. So the risk-free rate, that is RF, it is what which is earned by the security, which is having a no risk, which is just a reward for waiting. And the reward is for risk bearing is the risk premium. So risk premium, we can say it is directly proportional to the risk, and it is calculated by the product of beta. And risk premium is what it is excess of the expected market return over the risk-free rate. So let us discuss what is the relationship between the security market line and capital market line and how they are different to each other. As we know that it's very necessary to contrast what is a security and what is a market capital line, because both define the relationship between the risk and return. So in the capital market line, the risk has been defined by the total risk, and we used to measure it with the help of the standard deviation. But whereas on the security market line, the risk is measured by the systematic risk, and we use the beta over here. So the capital market line, we can say that it is valid where we are having only the efficient portfolio. Whereas in the case of security market line, it is valid for all the portfolios and all the individual securities as well as. So capital market line is the basis of the capital market theory and security market line, it is the basis of the capital asset pricing model. So both these lines equally contribute in evaluating the securities and determining the risk and return.